Thank you very much. I appreciate that. I'm Bruce. This is Aaron. And we're going to spend a few minutes today talking to you about mobile payments and how they recently died. And so, dude, seriously. Okay, digital payments have been with us for a little while. And we've started to see that mobile payments have had some troubles taking off. In fact, recently Thad Peterson put out a report from the IT group and was totting up how many in-store mobile payments we saw in 2014. It was about $7.5 billion, about half of which was at a coffee shop. So when you divide that into the $4.5 trillion that we have in US retail sales, they're just not making much of a difference. But we are seeing tremendous growth online. And so the challenge is really what's going to become of existing payment systems as we move through this incredible transformation of, yes, online continuing to grow rapidly, and eventually someday, probably within the next 5 years, mobile in-store becoming at least as important as online. So mobile is dead, long live digital. We put together a little video, Aaron, if you don't mind starting that up, that I think helps set the stage. There we go.
It doesn't matter how new the new stuff gets. The old stuff still stays old, and they have to work together. New stuff in payments is digital, but it still needs to connect to the old payment systems. This is where Modo's coin payment transaction comes in. It's just like a shipping container for intermodal payments. You can put just about anything in it. And it doesn't matter where it's going, or how it travels, whether it's online, in-store, or in the cloud. The coin is a container for intermodal payments. Need to connect digital checkouts to legacy merchant payment systems? Enable banks to offer digital loyalty programs online or in store? Handle digital offers, coupons, or gifts? No problem. And the best part, none of your new digital stuff has to worry about how that old stuff works. That's the magic of Coin from Modo.
I love this stuff flying around on the screen there. So the point of the video is how do we get the existing payments networks and the existing payment systems to coexist properly and effectively with the new digital environment? Perfect. So why don't we move on to the API? He was a little nervous backstage, so I think he's overacting here. Let's move on to the API and show folks how we can, through the platform, start at the very beginning. Let's add a person to the platform. So as you're building your digital solution, this literally is as complex as it gets to add a person. We actually think of users as people. So when you're registering, that's what it, okay, seriously, keep moving. And you're supposed to be doing these live. So let's move on to the next step, which is how to register a card. Okay, so we need a form of payment for this person who's going to be interacting with the system. So let's go to the card add API. Great. This is Postman, for those of you that are familiar with it. And you'll see that we've got the account UUID that we got back from the previous. Please don't type in the card number. That's not secure. So let's show you how we can actually add card numbers directly to the platform, keep them encrypted across the entire chain of custody between the consumer and our vault, our PCI level 1 vault. So what we're going to do is we're going to show you the app that we have created, which is really kind of a reference or a demonstration of how you can build things that interact with the platform. This app has incorporated our SDK. The SDK either works in the app or it works on the web server. And as Aaron gets over to settings, he'll get the opportunity to replace the card. So now you're going to recognize everybody's favorite way to add a card, the wonderful stuff from Card.io. And as soon as he's captured this card number, this app still has no access to this card information, and it's going to leave the phone already encrypted to head to the vault. From thereafter, this app and the system, or any other system that's in between, is only going to refer to the card number as a token. Okay, so we've added a person, we've added a card. Let's show you the first step of that transformation. So let's think about back to that in-store use case. Coffee was pretty important, so why don't we stay focused on coffee? Look for one of our coffee brands here, Caribou, and just show folks what does it look like if I want to pay at Caribou. So I'm going up to the stand, I've got my latte, we'll call it a $10 purchase. Let's turn the gifts off for now and pay. So real live call, real live system, and If the magic of the interwebs works, that is, in fact, an honest-to-goodness Caribou store card that's just been created, funded from the caller that was registered, and could be used either in-store or online. Okay, so I don't think that was impressive enough yet. We probably need to show them how we can combine some of those different sources of value. I think that's what Aaron means by the gift gesture. He's hoping that goes viral. So let's show everybody sending a gift. You can send it from my phone over there to your phone over here. And no, slow down. $10. $10. That's plenty. Thank you. He's trying to get himself a bonus here, I think, as we're going along. Okay, so all he's got to do is enter in this experience that we've created in this mobile app, the phone number that he's sending the value to, and then maybe a little bit of a note. And that's going to send this value across to the recipient. The recipient does not need to be a holder of the app, doesn't need to even be registered with the system. Yeah, certainly Aaron is awesome. Okay, so let's send that value across. Oh, unless, of course, you've forgotten your own phone number. Very good. And there we go. So that is away. Let's show folks both what the API looked like in order to generate the barcode in the first place. I think I was supposed to do that before. The location visit. And then we'll show you how we send the gift. Sorry, I skipped this part. So you can see this visit call has the account ID. That's the UUID that refers to my account, my phone in this case. The merchant ID, which is the UUID that refers to Caribou in this case. The visit amount. And now he's just opened up the window so you can see a little better in Postman. We have the funding sources, and the only thing that's been specified there is a card, which is the card that we just registered. Again, that's the token that represents the card. Okay, so that's how we generated the barcode. In order to send the gift, I'll give you a second to get to that. Sorry, I messed you up. Again, we have the same account number. We have my name just because we're going to tell the person to receive the gift in a text and an email and Twitter, Facebook, whatever it might be, my name, the amount of the gift. We're going to send that note along. The number is the only piece of information that we need in order to be able to distribute that. There are other options for notifications, for terms and conditions, for how we might process this gift. For instance, we could set it up so that you only have to pay for a gift if and only if the consumer who receives it accepts it, goes through some special step to say, yes, I want this. Or, in fact, we could wait all the way to the point where they use it. In fact, we could say, we'll keep it available as kind of a charge against that funding card until it's all been spent. Okay, I think that's enough for the send gift API. Let's pop back to the phone. This time we're going to switch to the phone that received the gift. So if you all in the back don't mind switching us to the camera, we're going to log in to the app. Again, Aaron is a registered user in this case. It also works if he isn't. And we'll just check out that he got that gift in the first place. Oh, there it is, Caribou, okay. Now, let's go ahead and actually spend this gift. And actually, as we get started looking at this, before you just type in a random number, let's actually do a real live checkout here so that everybody sees that this is for reals. We'll switch back to the laptop if you don't mind. And go ahead and let's go to the Caribou website. I think Aaron's picked out a mug for himself. And we're going to actually purchase this mug using the checkout that we're about to create in the app. So this is, in fact, the Caribou Coffee website. For those of our customers, of which we have a couple, that are interested in digital checkouts online specifically, they tend to create things that actually provide this information or scrape the sites and log them in, provide shipping information and all that kind of stuff, instead of having someone type it in. But we wanted you to see that this was, in fact, the honest-to-goodness Caribou site, and we're going to pay with the Caribou gift card that we're about to create. So he's now got the amount there, $22.77. If you don't mind, I know we're going to switch you back and forth a lot. If we can go back to there, excellent. So he's got the $22.77, and this time we're going to use both the gift amount and we're going to use loyalty cashback. In this particular experience, we accrue loyalty points, which is amazing. Aaron has earned some loyalty. And off he goes to request from the system a real live honest-to-goodness barcode. I don't think that you can read that, but go ahead and start entering that guy into the site from Caribou. This is the first of a couple of tense moments. See if it all works properly. No pressure. It's a lot of numbers to type in. And we really don't have anything else better to do. We'll just watch you. Awesome. Okay. So that's the actual confirmation that he's got another mug heading his way from our good friends at Caribou. Okay. So I don't know how much of this already looks familiar to you with the Visit API, the registration of cards, that particular app experience, our SDK, but we've actually presented this to you before. Perhaps you were here last year, perhaps you saw us at Money 2020, but that is the mobile payments experience that we were just talking about, wanting to move past. In fact, in the video, it talked about something called a coin. Well, the way that we're able to gather all those different sources of value, combine them together, and turn them into something else is sort of this hidden element of our system called the coin transaction service. Go ahead and log into the honest-to-goodness, no-fooling around production system. We were busy twiddling with firewalls for a little bit earlier today, so hopefully it still works. And you can see that the developers have never kept up with our branding. And Aaron has all sorts of references in there to Easter bunnies and things. Okay, so this is the transaction that we just performed. And there it is. It's actually moving through its life cycle. It's not yet complete, so we managed to catch it quickly enough that it's still wandering through this life cycle. Let's look at the life cycle just for a second, Aaron. So this is what all coins move through, regardless of the form that they're being funded by, and regardless of the destination that we're going to send that value to. So the big aha that we had is, hey, wait a second, there's a whole bunch of problems to solve connecting existing payment systems to digital environments and back. And that's what we're now doing. Today we're announcing that we're exposing this coin transaction service for whatever you think it should be used for, whatever you think digital payments is going to mean, whatever mobile payments ends up happening to mean. So this transaction, we could keep refreshing it. We'll watch it go through that life cycle that you just saw. Has a set of transactions, right? We showed you that before. It's got a gift, it's got loyalty, and it's got a card. Yeah, it may not do it now, though, so don't worry about it. Two things that you might want to notice about this. First, there's a debit and a credit on both sides. The coin is always in balance. It always represents a balanced presentation of transactions through. So while parties settle with coins, and they do, they don't settle with us as a system record. We do not hold money. The second thing that you might notice, back from your accounting class, is we're actually leveraging double entry accounting, right? So not only are we always in balance, but we're representing good funds from those payment systems. So this is a transaction service that overlays existing payment systems, allows them all to settle with one another without having any idea that the other ones exist. The heart of this is a real-time accounting engine. And that accounting engine is keeping track of not only all of those different debits and credits, the payments instructions versus the confirmations or money movements, however you want to think about that, but it is also enabling us to display or report that back to any of those systems of records in the form that they want. In other words, and this is very exciting, I'm sure you're all thrilled to hear, every endpoint can have its own chart of accounts. Woof. Okay, so that may have gotten a little esoteric. So why don't we talk a little bit about how you actually create that transaction, and you'll, I think, get a sense of sort of the flexibility and the different things you can use it for. The first call is, amusingly enough, called the coin create. So this allows us to assign a different amount for inputs, for outputs, and then once we've created that, we are going to simply execute it. The coin transaction service manages all of the interactions with the existing systems and doesn't require, as I said before, any of them to understand what other party they're interacting with. So we talk to each payment system natively. For instance, we're acquiring through Stripe and through Elevon, depending on what the client's interested in. We present value through ACH. We present value through a number of different sources. Okay, so we have an extremely simple demonstration that kind of steps back from this whole notion of an app that's in store, that's making a purchase, and just says, let's genericize, I want to deliver value to somebody, and oh, by the way, I want to open up and think broadly about the different ways in which they may want to accept that value. So I did promise you this is an extremely simple demonstration, but just to prove that all this stuff's happening live and in color right here before your very eyes, I would love it if you guys would just sort of shout out a number between 1 and 20 and think of it kind of like almost as a performance review for Aaron. 20 being good, 1 being less good. What? 17. Mr. Bruni says, oh, I heard a 21, but I'm going to go with 17. So, yeah, great. So type in 17. No, okay. Off it goes. So this transaction is underway. There you go. I told you it was very simple. Okay, so we've just sent that value from my phone to Aaron's phone. If we could switch back to the camera. We're only going to do that 1 or so more times. He's going to go, he just got a text, all right? That text includes, I don't know if you can see it, a hash. So that hash is what's securing the value that we just distributed. So Aaron overruled me, it's now $20 in value. And it's been locked, that hash is actually coded to a secret number, which happens to be his phone number. So we're hoping that he remembers his own phone number. Okay, there you go. So that's exactly what I was just describing. There are multiple forms of value now that we can initiate and say, okay, you just received $20. How would you like to get that $20 sent to you? You could go through ACH. I think that's kind of tired. People know how that works, with all due respect to Nacha. You could create a gift card, create a store value card that we can use in a store. But I think we've shown you that a couple times already, so we'll keep moving. Push to card. That is an exciting area. Square Cash is based on that, and I think what they're doing is pretty cool. Jack Dorsey's pretty cool. No, okay. So why don't we go back to PayPal? We'll kick it old school. And honestly, Aaron, you've kind of gotten away with enough already today. So do we have any volunteers that'd be willing to come up on stage, collect, it turns out $20, not 17, sorry, Jim, in exchange for giving us your PayPal credentials so we can prove to everyone that this is for reals? I got anybody? Right here in the front. Come on up. All right, so you've got a PayPal account, and you're willing to embarrass. Oh, look at this. It's Nick Thomas from Finicity. Now, Nick, we didn't talk about this beforehand, right?
No.
Especially not in the green room. Okay. So why don't you tell our good friend Aaron here how to log in? Oh, yeah, that may work out better. We'll see. So Nick's typing in his email address that's associated with his PayPal account. He's got his PayPal login already done, so those of you who are following along at home may realize that we may have cooked this a little bit. All right, now we're waiting for the big moment. Are we good? We are good. Okay. So Nick, if you don't mind refreshing your PayPal account, we will all watch and wonder and see whether or not it actually worked. That's it. Okay, so what you just saw was the coin transaction. Thanks, Nick. Really, really appreciate you coming up and letting us borrow you like that. So what you just saw was we used a generic set of inputs in order to be able to instantly push value to the choice that a consumer made as to how they wanted to pick up money. This is something we've talked to a few banks about from a disbursements perspective, but there's a bunch of different ways in which you could think about that. What the coin transaction service does is it allows you to gather value from a number of different places and deliver it to a number of different destinations, regardless of the channel that it runs across, digital or not. So we invite you to come talk to us, tell us about what you want to get connected, and would love to talk to you about how we can power your digital experience with the coin transaction service. Thank you very much.